Alright, it's time. It's time for another EDH / Commander gameplay video. I'm bringing it to you today because life is pain. Nope, that's a joke. I'm the funny guy. That's why I get to say jokes like life is pain. Don't worry about it. Also, don't worry about the fact that I've worn this shirt in introductions like 17 times now. You might be wondering, wow, some of these characters are familiar. And you'd be correct, because we all have the same decks. But not all the decks are the same. One of these characters is new, and she hasn't put up a good showing. But we're slowly introducing a new stack of decks to the channel, and we hope that we hope over time we learn to master these decks for your sake, for our sake, for my sake, for everyone's sake. I have nothing else witty to say. Sometimes that's just that's a Monday for you. I hope I bring joy to your Monday. That's really all I'm looking for today, and the pre-roll stuff. As always, if you like this show or any of our other shows on YouTube, liking, sharing, and subscribing helps us out immensely. If you like our content and don't mind that extra mile, you can always support us over on Patreon, over at patreon.com/mtg the stack.
Hey Matthew, I need a report. Hey Matthew, report. I need a report. Am I allowed to make this joke? Report.
Comment down below any of your thoughts and feelings, and we hope you enjoy the show. In today's game, we have Calvin running his Edgar Markov deck. His opening hand includes a Captivating Vampire, Strong Curb Captain, a Dusk Legion Zealot, an Impact Tremors, a Sorin Markov, a Swamp, and a Greven Cairns. After that, we have Guy rocking his Greven Predator Captive deck. His opening hand includes a Rotting Regisaur, a Vampiric Tutor, a Silent Arbiter, an Imp's Mischief, an Ancient Tomb, and a Prismatic Vista as he ships a Reanimate to the bottom of his deck. Then we have Jacob rocking Narset Enlightened Master. His opening hand includes a Mana Vault, Swiftfoot Boots, a Wear and Tear, a Long-Term Plans, Command Tower, Island, and then he ships a World at War to the bottom of his library. And finally, it's the boy, Adrian, slamming that Yuriko Tiger Shadow with a Commandeer, Gataxian Probe, Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive, Miss Syndicate Naga, Snapcaster Mage, Swamp, and a Morphic Pool. Calvin won the die roll, so he'll open the game with a Swamp and pass the turn. On Guy's turn, he'll drop a Prismatic Vista, and pass the turn. And then on Jacob's turn, he'll drop a Command Tower, then tap the Command Tower in order to cast Mana Vault.
Please turn 0 counterspell it. I want to just see it.
Gataxian Probe and Tetsuka from my hand, and I will take control of your spell.
That's magic, baby!
Oh my goodness!
After taking the Mana Vault for himself, Adrian will start his first turn by dropping a Morphic Pool, and then he'll cast a Snapcaster Mage and a Scroll Rack.
Draw?
No way.
Sup? How we doing, guys?
On Calvin's turn, he'll timidly drop a Graven Cairns in order to cast a Impact Tremors. On Guy's turn, he'll drop an Ancient Tomb and pass. And then on Jacob's turn, he'll drop an Island and pass.
If it means anything, he's going to start taking damage. You'll be discarding the time.
Yeah, we'll all do it. At least symmetrical.
Here. What?
We'll all take damage.
Do Mana Vault.
I'm Yuriko, and I have a Mana Vault. Symmetry. You got me.
Can you blend me that Mana Vault?
Adrian will untap, he'll take the 1 damage off the Mana Vault, and then he'll draw a card. He'll drop a Swamp, and he'll move into the red zone with his Snapcaster Mage pointed at Calvin. No blocks are declared, and he'll pay the 2 mana in order to ninjutsu in Yuriko, dealing 1 commander damage. Yuriko will trigger, and he'll reveal a land off the top, dealing nothing to the board. Calvin will then untap, draw, and then cast Dusk Legion Zealot, trigger Edgar Markov, will create a token, Impact Tremors, you all take 1. Then Dusk Legion will enter, trigger, you all take 1, and then I'll take 1 to draw a card.
Wow.
7.
Then I'll play a Concealed Courtyard,
Sure.
and I will tap the Concealed Courtyard to cast Legion's Landing.
Sure.
Trigger, I will make a Vampire, you all take 1. On Calvin's end step, Guy's going to crack his Prismatic Vista, finding a Swamp and put it into play. Then he'll tap the Swamp to cast Vampiric Tutor, searching his library for a Myriad Landscape and putting it on top of his library. He'll untap, draw, drop the landscape tapped, and pass the turn. But on Guy's end step, Jacob's going to cast Wear and Tear, targeting Adrian's Scroll Rack. Then Jacob's going to untap, draw, cast a Talisman of Progress, and then end the turn.
give it 2-lander based on ramp? That seems wrong. I want to untap and take 1. Calvin, you're greedy. You're a very greedy magic.
I'm a very greedy magic
The
player.
reason your win rate isn't as high as it could be.
Adrian will drop a Darkwater Catacombs, then attack Guy for 1 commander damage, triggering Yuriko and revealing Dead Drop.
Oh,
Calvin
wow.
has 228.
Adrian will add the Dead Drop to his hand, and no further actions, he'll pass the turn. Then Calvin will untap, draw.
There's nothing to see over here. Really, it's the same thing as always. I'm down 2 cards and I never used the score X, so we're just back into level 0.
That's dealt 10.
That is what my deck does at level 0.
I'm a very ouchy ouch boy.
Yeah, start getting that lifelink going, buddy.
We're gonna play a land for turn.
Basic plans is start to lifelink.
Calvin will move into the red zone on Adrian, attacking with 3 creatures and triggering Legion's Landing, flipping it over into Adanto the First Fort. Adrian will just take it, dealing 3 damage to Adrian and gaining Calvin 1 life. Then Calvin will move into his second main phase, where he'll tap 2 to cast his Legion's Lieutenant, triggering his Edgar Markov and getting 2 triggers off the Impact Tremors, and then he'll tap the rest of his mana to cast Drumkirk Captain, triggering his Edgar Markov and then getting 2 triggers off his Impact Tremors.
128.
Oh no.
Guy, you're at 19. Wow, this is great for me.
This
and
is
Jake, you're
fucking awful.
23. You're having a fucking outstanding time.
Very bad, no good game.
Guy will untap, draw, then pass. Then Jacob will untap, draw, and think.
Y'all both just missed your land drop.
Don't.
I went to 6.
Jacob will then tap out to cast Rhystic Study, which will resolve, and then he'll move to End Step, where Adrian will cast his Snapcaster Mage into the battlefield, paying for the Rhystic Study tax. Adrian's gonna untap, lose 1 life to the Mana Vault, then draw a card before going into the red zone on Guy. No blockers are declared, so Adrian will ninjutsu in Miss Syndicate Naga, returning Snapcaster to his hand. Damage is going to connect, so he'll make a clone copy of the Miss Syndicate, and then Yuriko will trigger twice. The first trigger revealing a Jace the Mind Sculptor, and a second trigger revealing Temporal Mastery.
Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
Adrian will add all the cards to his hand, drop a Shizo Death Storehouse onto the battlefield, and then he'll pass the turn. On Calvin's turn, he'll untap, draw, then drop a Captivating Vampire, choosing not to pay the Rhystic Study tax.
Trigger Edgar Markov.
Sure.
Bazinga.
After the Edgar trigger, Captivating Vampire and the token will both make Impact Tremors work, and then Calvin will tap the rest of his mana to cast Shadow Alley Denizen, choosing to pay the Rhystic Study tax this time. This will cause the Impact Tremors to again work, dealing 2 more damage to the board. Then Calvin's gonna go all in on Adrian, going for lethal.
Dink.
On Calvin's end step, Guy is going to crack his Myriad Landscape, paying 2 for the Ancient Tomb, which he will use to fetch a mountain and a mountain. Then Guy's gonna untap, draw, drop a Graven Cairns, and then he will cast
Arbiter. Oh.
Jacob will draw 1 off the Rhystic Study, and then Guy will pass the turn. Jacob will untap, draw, drop a Cavernous Souls, and then he'll cast a Swiftfoot Boots, followed by a Blasphemous Act. Calvin will untap, draw, then cast Cordial Vampire, triggering Edgar Markov and making a creature token. Calvin will pay the Rhystic Study tax, and then the creatures will enter the battlefield, triggering Impact Tremors and killing Guy.
Untap.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Upkeep.
It's a shame. It's a shame I took this mana gold.
It is a
You
shame.
would have won this game straight up, but I had a Commandeer. Sometimes you just have Commandeer.
Sometimes you just get fucked, and that's what life is like.
Jacob will drop a Sea of Clouds on his last turn.
Finish the game. Hurry up.
Yeah, I pass. I have no place.
Draw. Yep.
Stop. Just
How much is swinging at me? How much do I have?
2.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Edgar Markov? Dude.
Okay. One's exiled. You take 1.
Yes.
Cast vampire.
Okay. Yep.
Edgar Markov wins the game. So, let's talk about it. The first deck that I wanted to get out of the way. Did you see that Greven deck? Did you see what that Greven deck did? I think the first card that Greven deck played was shit. What was the first card that Greven played? Yo, I think what did the Greven deck do? The Greven deck went Prismatic Vista into Ancient Tomb, into Vampiric Tutor, Myriad Landscape, Silent Arbiter, die. That's what the Greven deck did. And that's not a good showing for the Greven deck. The Greven deck has the potential to just yeet people into space. But this was not. Nope. This is not that game. This was a game where Guy kept a play that was about Vampiric Tutoring to the top of his deck a Myriad Landscape. He was committed to a slow game, and Yuriko and Edgar Markov were at the table. Sound off below if you like his decisions or not. Or if you want to give a little ribbon to Guy, just get under his grill. I invite you to it. Don't worry if you make him upset. He'll just beat me up later. After that was the Narset deck. And what did the Narset deck do today? Hey Jacob, what did the Narset deck do today?
Today?
Yeah, today.
Nothing.
Oh. The Narset did Impression of Safety. What if I play Mana Vault on turn 1 when the other blue player didn't have mana? And then the other blue player was like, yo, that's cool. That was such a good idea. It's my idea. This is the second time I've recorded this introduction, and I just want to throw out here the same line that I said last time. I love when these type of lessons happen at the table and we learn what we can and can't get away with Adrian sitting there, especially when I'm not the one that has to learn them the hard way. Fun facts. So I'm really curious how we can get the Narset deck into more games onto the channel without the games being just essentially nothing. Narset's another one of those decks that's just like, I'm gonna get my commander, and with my commander I just win the game, like Godo or in theory Skithiryx, where Narset of the three is probably the most consistent, assuming she can get mana. But I don't know, comment down below your thoughts on like us playing those combo decks more. After that, what did Yuriko do today? I'll tell you what Yuriko did today. She stole a Mana Vault. But in stealing the Mana Vault, she lost 2 cards out of her hand, and like, maybe the Tetsuya and the Gitaxian Probe weren't going to be that effective, but the Gitaxian Probe would have at least cycled him another card, and what eventually happened was the Edgar Markov deck was like, yo, there's no cards in his hand, basically. Like, I know he got a snap, but like, he pitched a lot. I'm just gonna go in for the beats. And while Yuriko flipped over a Dead Drop, a Jace, and a Temporal Mastery, you saw it happen. This is still a good showing for the Yuriko deck, all things considered, and I'm really excited to have another video on the channel that just tries to convince you, the audience, hey, you should play Yuriko. But it didn't convince me. You wanna know why it didn't convince me? Because I played turn 2 Impact Tremors. And you know what happens with a turn 2 Impact Tremors? The deck builder's like, yo, I gotta add Perforos now. There's a Perforos in this deck. I don't know, man. I got nothing really exciting to say about Edgar Markov besides that I put permanence into play, which invited more permanence, which it was permanent thing. There's another game coming in the future that's really exciting with Edgar Markov. Probably not going to put it out next week because this is going to try and shy away a bit from Edgar Markov, yeah, now. But I just like this deck. Creature tokens. This is the creature token deck. I like creature tokens. It plays Sorin. Yo, Adrian Hunter just sent me a voice message. Does everyone want to listen to it right now? Here we go. I'm gonna click this button.
Oh, no, yeah. You're good to not rush.
Alright, he said I could put this video out tomorrow. Anyways, I also tried to, push out a bit more of the in-game commentary into this video, and I really am interested in your thoughts on that. On one hand, it made the editing process a lot smoother for me when it came to actually doing the voiceover. Not just because a lot of the video was like in-game dialogue, but it's the way it was all cut up. But also it's more fun for me to just listen to all the boys be like, yo, ha 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 ha, life is pain. I like it when the boys do that. But do you like it when the boys do that? It's on brand for a Calvin video. I see you in the comment section, Mr. Party Pooper. But someone slide in Dragon Ball Z Abridged into this scene right now. But maybe it's too much. Comment down below your thoughts and concerns about how this channel is doing Calvin's content. And remember to hit the remember that whole call to action in the beginning of the video? Yeah, just that again. And, most importantly, remember, I drank a lot of Pepsi today. There's a lot of cans right here, and they're all from me. I'm gonna die.